Good morning. Welcome to your program, Your Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this morning. We are airing from Barrio Capitolio, Pasig City, and we do hope you will join us because today we are going to speak with someone who is considered one of the best when it comes to explaining things that are related to real estate, to property, to condominium, townhouse ownerships, etc. In fact, he has actually written, I think, 2 books, if I'm not mistaken, on how to get your condo or was it townhouse rented and on real estate. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Today is May 10, 2023. It's a Wednesday. And thank you for being Cignal TV subscribers. Maraming salamat po mula Apari hanggang Hulo. Thank you to our friends in Zamboanga and Iloilo, in Bacolod, etc., etc. And especially those of you who, when you leave the country, still try to watch Agenda via Facebook and on YouTube. Siyempre naman, thank you PLDT Home Fiber Optic Internet, because you keep us connected to our beloved viewers. Maraming salamat dun sa kumakaway at hindi ko natatanaw, hindi ko nababati. Okay? Hello to you. Okay? Para wala na kayong complain na snabero si Beltran. Anyway, this is your agenda, and when I say your agenda, please expect that this will be a regular statement on the program, because our goal for the program is to become the platform for NGOs, for movements, for individuals who are success stories, who are doing good for the country and their communities, but don't get regular time in the traditional media. So here we go. And of course, here on Agenda, we have our regular daily starter. Medyo interesting po ito. And let me read the daily starter for today. It comes from author Courtney Carver, and Courtney says, if you want to clean less, own less. Okay? Medyo natawa po ako. This really tickled me, but it is so true. People complain about all the stuff they have to look after. They complain about their concerns, from their house to their personal attire, their shoes, their cars, their business. And Courtney Carver is correct. If you want to clean less or worry less or have less hassles, then own less. In fact, I remember writing in my column once where I said, there are people who keep telling me that their house is so small, their studio is so small, their apartment is so small, or their car is so small, and I tell them, get a toothbrush and a piece of cloth and clean every square inch of your small studio, of your small house, of your small car, or your small office, and let's see how you feel after the end of the day. And in connection with that, Courtney says, if you want to clean less, then own less. Okay? Hindi po tayo anti-acquisition. We are not anti, having the stuff you want. But, if you want it, then own it. Don't complain about it, okay? Let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star for a quick review, because we have a very interesting topic today. The headline for today of the Philippine Star, May 10, 2023, more outages possible. Kumbaga, more power failures or blackouts or brownouts are possible. According to the Department of Energy, they are not ruling out more red alerts in the coming days after last Monday's power disruption in many parts of Luzon, triggered by forced outages of 5 power plants. Year after year, this happens, ladies and gentlemen, and it is just a reflection. I'm sorry, I don't want to editorialize how bad our Department of Energy is in terms of planning, forecasting, and investment incentives for power plants, because we never had enough power. We'll never have enough power until the government understands that it is something that it needs to prioritize and not just rotate. Okay, rotating the problem year in, year out. Okay, at the top of the front page, DOH says, pandemic not over. Don't be complacent. Even though the World Health Organization has essentially declared that the COVID pandemic is over in the sense that, you know, it's no longer a global threat. It is still there. Don't be complacent. Take care of yourselves. Beware, etc., etc. To the left of the top of the front page, President Marcos and First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos arrives at the Komodo International Airport ahead of the ASEAN Summit in Labuan Bajo, East Nusa Tenggara Province in Indonesia. Sabi ko na sa inyo, nagpalit lang ng maleta at ng bihisan, lipad na agad from England to Indonesia. Okay, so but the president also says Myanmar, the president sees a productive summit in Indonesia, particularly in the discussions for Myanmar, its membership and their relations with Myanmar and the South China Sea. Alarm over Myanmar's still unfolding deadly civil strife, including an armed attack on an aid convoy, and China's aggressive actions in the South China Sea are expected to be put on the spotlight of the 42nd Summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay, at the top right of the front page, we have Teves, former Congressman Teves, well, congressman pero suspended na. Has he been stripped of his title? I know he has been suspended. Anyway, Teves seeking asylum in Timor-Leste, according to the Department of Justice, paano ba title? Suspended. Ayun. Suspended Negros Oriental Representative Arnulfo Teves has sought asylum in Timor-Leste. But according to an article or a report I gathered yesterday, his request has been denied by the authorities in Timor-Leste. And he has been given 5 days to get out of town, but he can appeal the matter. Okay, that's what I picked up. It's not in the papers, but I picked it up yesterday. Okay, meanwhile, 3,000 police scalawags being monitored. Ano naman po ito? Diyos ko po, ano po ba talaga ang nangyayari sa aming kapulisan? Gusto pa ba ninyong magpulis? Okay? Nearly 3,000 police officers suspected to be involved in illegal activities are being monitored. Philippine National Police Chief Brigadier General Benjamin Acorda said yesterday. The figure represents about 1.31% of the 228,000 strong PNP all over the country. Okay, so minomonitor, they are watching. It is unfortunate that you have, sabi nga nila, all it takes is one rotten apple to spoil the bunch. Eh, ito, 3,000 rotten apples, and although it is only 1.31%, that 1.31% is spoiling, ruining the reputation of the PNP. You have 228,000 officers and you can't arrest these people? I don't know about you. Okay, now let's go to the center photo of the Philippine star. Swimmer Thea Salvino poses with her gold medal after breaking the game's record in the 100-meter backstroke at the 32nd Southeast Asian Games in Cambodia. Tried gymnast John Ivan Cruz, cousin of world champion Carlos Yulo, celebrates after winning the gold in the men's floor exercises finals yesterday. Yan po. Okay, tuloy-tuloy ang ani ng ginto. And good news, GCash, the e-wallet company, corrects all balances following downtime. Okay, congratulations GCash for moving in quickly and responding to the problem. E-wallet giant GCash has assured its more than 81 million users that the app remains safe to use after customers suffered unauthorized deductions in their personal accounts. In a statement, GCash said it has corrected the fund balance of users affected by what appeared to be a concerted attempt by still unknown individuals to take money from its customers' base. Okay, let that be a reminder, okay, to companies such as GCash. Perhaps now, GCash will also invest more money for cybersecurity and also to assist and correct flaws or the deficits in the system that victimizes their clients. Kasi kahit hindi nyo pera ng kumpanya ang nawala, pag nawala ng customer, mawawalan din ang kumpanya. Okay, let's now move on. More Pinoys opting to delay marriage or having kids, according to the Population Commission. More Filipinos are opting to delay marriage and having children, according to Director Lisa Grace Bersales, in their report. Okay, mabuti naman po yun. Nagkapakasal ng medyo matanda na ng konti, pero wag kayong lumampas ng 40 katulad namin na had our baby at 40. Medyo ibang klaseng labanan din yun. Okay, parents, a photo at the bottom of the front page. Parents shield themselves from the sun as they wait for their children outside the Corazon Aquino Elementary School in Quezon City. Pag-asa is expecting the heat index in Metro Manila to range from 39 to 43 degrees Celsius and is warning the public of the harmful effects of extreme heat. So, ayan po. Baga, mag-iingat, be careful, hydrate, stay in the shade, stay cool, okay? At ika nga, pwede naman kayo mag-swimwear sa bahay, di ba? Mag-swimwear na lang kayo sa bahay at magbasaan na lang kayo. Okay, mental health pandemic must be addressed. The Senate Committee on Health, chaired by Senator Bongo, conducted a hearing to review the implementation of the Mental Health Act of 2017 and pursued the resolution filed by Senator Raffy Tulfo on the reported corruption in the National Mental the National Center for Mental Health. And that's it. That's all the news we have on the front page of the Philippine Star. Please go and get a physical copy so you can read the paper, or go on online internet and get the internet or cyber copy, and then read the contents, because I have an interesting column today, okay? Medyo real estate connected, about how we need more women architects than men. Dapat bawasan yung mga lalaking arkitekto kasi hindi nila iniisip yung problema ng mga kababaihan when it comes to toilets, parking lots, etc., etc. Okay, let's go to our main program, main event. Someone I'm really looking forward to, because the agenda team said, "Sir, magaling siya, sikat siya when it comes to real estate." Aber, subukan nga natin. Okay, but we love doing this, ladies and gentlemen, because we love to teach people, we love to inform people, and we're not ratings driven here on Cignal. We just want our viewers to learn. Okay, let's roll out the Betamax, Gabriel, to introduce our expert for today.
Carl D. is a well-established real estate broker and investor in the country. He is currently president of Spectrum Investments, a property portfolio management company. D. shared his expertise in his 2 books entitled Creating Wealth Through Property and 6 Steps to Renting Out Your Condo.
Good morning, Carl. Welcome to the program. Welcome back to the program.
Good morning, Sir Cito. It's so good to see you again. And naka-pressure naman yung introduction. So, I hope makasagot natin.
Hoy, yung nauna sa'yo, nadyaryo dahil sa pag-guest sa agenda, because he really, Sunny De Leon really shared so much on startup businesses and what the problems are. And I do know that you are an expert in this field, but we'd like to bring it more to the level of not just the consumer, but the aspirational aspect ba?
All right, I'll do my best, sir.
Okay. Anyway, so you've written 2 books. Unfortunately, we weren't able to discuss much of it in the past. But can you appraise our viewers regarding the 2 books you wrote to set the things right?
Sir Cito, the first book ko is all about creating wealth through property. So, ang ginawa natin dito is I was blessed to have 42 people share their stories about real estate. So yun yung una kong book wherein I realized that I want people to share their stories, both the success and the mistakes, para doon natin makuha yung learning. So that's my first book. And my second book, which I give away now for free, ebook, is the 6 Steps to Renting Out Your Condo. Sito, I see kasi na maraming tao ngayon vacant ang condo units nila. So what I did is I made the 6 steps, kasi I believe na in renting out your condo, hindi lang siya parang ito gagawin mo. There should be a process, a step. So 6 steps to renting out your condo. Here's how to get a copy. Sir, can I share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to Facebook group, search Creating Wealth, Carl D, at lalabas yun. Join kayo at nandun yung libreng ebook on how to rent out your condo.
Okay, now, but sorry, I don't have a condo, so I want to go to your first book, Creating Wealth Through Property or Real Estate.
I'll send you a copy, sir.
Okay, let's do a speed dating version of agenda.
Right.
Okay, if for people who have been thinking about real estate, etc., okay, tell us the stories and what sticks to your mind. If there are, top 10 tips, or kasi ilan yun? 42 stories?
Yes. The usual question, Sir Cito, is kunwari, am I ready to buy property, or is this year a good time to buy property? I always get that question.
Yeah.
I will twist that perspective into more personal. Kasi the first step of buying property is, are we financially ready? Diba? So there will be 2 kinds of people. One who is pareho yung gusto ng property. But number one, there are people who are medyo manipis pa yung cash position. May excess pero konti lang. Pag ganun ang cash position natin, maybe wag muna. So property is a venture that you go into if medyo excessive na yung cash position natin. And of course, we have to monitor our cash flow na secure ang trabaho natin bago tayo mag-venture into buying property. So yun yung usually people ask me, am I ready? So I would say, look into yourself.
Okay. Now, I remember when I did a similar project in Palawan. One of the books I read, I forgot the title, the author, but the lesson was, if you're going to go into business, one of the partner, the wife or the husband, must maintain a day job. Because someone has to make sure kakain kayo habang ikaw ay nagsusugal o nakikipagsapalaran.
Totally agree with you, Sir Cito. And sabi nga nila when I was growing up, the best time to start a business is when you are still working for somebody else, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Para meron kang safety net. You go to work in the morning and at night time, you do your hustle.
Okay. Now, as far as properties go, okay, so you said check your finances, check your cash flow, make sure you have an anchor or a parachute or a fallback. Okay,
Exactly.
fine yun. O sige, so madali na yun. Now, meron ba yung character evaluation or assessment? May IQ ba yan for getting into real estate? Or are there people who are really good for property investments and there are people who, kung wala kang ganitong ugali, get out of this game?
Wow, fantastic you asked that, sir. From my observation in real estate, alam mo, hindi mo kailangan maging matalino pa nga to be good in real estate. In fact, if you look back in history, there will be more smart people who will lose money, let's say, in the stock market or in cryptocurrency na smart versus our regular tito and tita na bumili ng property nung 1980s at ngayon binenta nila ilang milyones na without doing anything. So yeah, but the character, sir, that napansin ko na kailangan is patience. Property is long term. Nung bata tayo, we are okay with long term na. O bili lang tayo ng property, I can wait, hold ko lang. But lately, napapansin ko sa mga kabataan natin or tayo, we tend to be parang more in a hurry right now. We want the money to come back, have returns immediately. So I think pang property is more slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the game. So yun yung isang character, sir, na medyo importante, in patience and time.
Okay, is there an age bracket for good, which is ideal for property investment or property development? Because there are young people who sabi ko medyo iho, magtrabaho ka muna, mag-ipon ka muna, masyado kang matapang. But there are also people who are in their 70s, 80s, and I'm like, sir, medyo, you really, wag na lang, mag-enjoy ka na lang, tara, good time na lang tayo. Kasi hanin mo pa yan.
I totally agree with you, sir. You are right. Pag masyado ka kasing bata, tapos ang motivation mo is to make fast money, you might stumble down. But if you are, let's say, young, and you have the benefit of a mentor or a parent na financially will guide you, mas may iwasan natin madapa. And usually when you're young, what you're after is the education. You want to learn, you want to experience. Kasi sabi nila, sir, di ba, like in negosyo, iba talaga if you read it in the books at na-experience mo, actual, and you will learn it. In fact, marami tayong kaibigan na businessman na yung first 1 or 2 ventures nila nalugi, but they learned a lot of lesson, in-apply nila sa pangatlong negosyo, nag-boom. So I think for the younger person, don't be in a hurry. But if you have mentor, you have somebody who will financially guide you, then you can go for it for the lesson. And then eventually, pag nag-jackpot, bonus yung pera. And you are also right, sir. Pag medyo senior years na tayo,
Retiree, let's say, 65 and above, katulad ko.
I think medyo go easy kasi minsan baka kulang na yung time, hindi mo na ma-enjoy. I'd rather use the cash and just enjoy it. But so you are right, sir, talagang yung prime time to invest in real estate is medyo siguro, ako I started kasi in a way, 30 years old. In today's time, medyo late na yun. But I started 30. So at least you can make your mistakes while early. And then you have that time. Yun talaga kasi, sir, ang property, yung time. Eh. Yun.
Okay. Yeah, but okay. What about those senior citizens, retirees who say, "Well, I'm investing for my children and my grandchildren." Does that make sense?
Okay, definitely, sir. Meron tayong mga kaibigan na in that age in their life and they have excessive cash. So, what they're thinking is, kaysa ipamana ko tong cash, maybe I will put up some rental apartments or maybe I'll get some condo for rental. Kasi at least, ang property kasi, sir, one of the negative points about property is it's not too liquid. Kaya sabi nga nila, mahirap siyang ibenta. Negative yun. But at an advantage naman, minsan pag pinamana natin yun or inherit, it's also not easily spendable. So definitely if you're in that stage na, oy, ayoko masyado magpamana ng masyadong liquidity, I can assign it to property. You can even buy a property na medyo upcoming, kunwari sa medyo area na mura pa, para pag lumaki yung apo o yung anak, it's prime na for them. So yes, maraming approach talaga yan, sir.
Okay, now marital status, civil status, marital status, and family status. Because I've heard of people who, when they were single, got into property development. I know of couples who want to go into property development, but it's a choice between, shall we have kids now? And shall we have property now, kids later, etc. And nakakagulo ba ng buhay yan?
For me, sir, definitely family first. Family first. Kasi ang property naman, totoo lang, sir, you can enjoy your whole life even if you don't own one. Diba? So it's a mindset lang din. So family first, you enjoy your family. Pag na-bless ka with excess, then you proceed to property.
Okay, so you keep repeating the term excess, Carl. So is it a rule talaga, or is it one of the guardrails that if you want to go into property investments, make sure that it comes out of your excess or your surplus and not out of a choice between A and B?
Yeah, definitely. In my analysis, sir, except for siguro primary home mo, kunyari talagang, you're renting right now at gusto mo bumili sa sariling townhouse or condo, that can be under your primary expense. But anything outside of that, sir, I think pag in excess na tayo. Kasi yun yung napansin ko, sir, na maraming nadadapa is when they stretch themselves too thin. Yun nga, kunwari, bumili sila ng maraming hulugan na property, binata pa sila. And so when they get married, when they have 1 kid, 2 kid, nagiging tight at nahihirapan na sila. And then you also have to factor, sir, yung syempre, mga sickness, yung mga elder family natin na minsan kailangan natin financially mag-support. So I guess, sir, you're right. Talagang medyo yung financial excess, it's a big plus para hindi tayo madapa.
Okay, let's go for a quick break, Carl. And when we return, talagang umpisan ko na yung grilling of the expert. Here.
Hindi pa grilling yun, sir?
Hindi pa. We'll be right back here on Agenda. And we're back. Welcome to Your Agenda. Yan, madadalas po yan, Your Agenda, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to make sure that what we talk about here on the program concerns matters of interest to you, your agenda, your concern. And with us is the expert, the celebrity real estate guru, Carl D. And Carl, you're a property investment expert and president of Spectrum Investment. Ano ba yung Spectrum Investments na yan? Because when I read it, I thought, ano ito? Stockbroker ba ito?
I know, right? So, sir, basically what we do is medyo na-bless kasi tayo. Yung backstory ko is I started as a delivery boy when I was young. Mm-hmm. So, sa Binondo, nag-deliver tayo. And then, ang family ko kasi, sir, we had financial struggles early on. So, nakita ko, sabi ko, ba't yung mga mayayaman na negosyante, mostly they have properties.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt, Carl. You're Filipino-Chinese based in Binondo. Hello, walang mahirap sa Binondo na Chinese.
meron sir. So may mga mahirap din like us. So financially we struggled early on. Mm-hmm. But nakikita ko yung mga wealthy Chinoy sa Binondo. So sabi ko, ba't sila lahat may property? So that's really how I started with my property journey. And then we were blessed. I took up architecture and then napunta tayo kay Palafox. Then eventually I worked for Ayala Land.
So nung sinabi kong dapat damihan ng female architects, bawasan ng male, yung tenga mo lumaki.
So yan yung background natin, sir. So I learned a lot in Ayala Land. So nung medyo may opportunity, I felt na the society needs a mentor, somebody who can tell you the good and the bad. Kasi you don't want to hear only the bad. Hindi ka maka-prepare. So my job really is to also warn people. Diba, share ko lang. Alam mo, recently we had the pandemic, diba? And in a way that's actually good for us, lalo sa mga bata. Kasi there are some young generation where they came into the workplace 08, 09. Alam mo, pag pumasok ka ng 08, 09, boom lang ang makikita mo eh. And I see that 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, you will have young people who are very aggressive in investing, buying properties. So itong pandemic recently, malaking tulong kasi marami rin nadapa. Diba? Doon mo na-realize, ay, pwede pala mangyari na financially ma-affect yung business ko na booming. So that really gonna help our generation to be more careful and to be realistic.
In other words, in Tagalog, natauhan. Natauhan sila. Yeah, because you're correct. A lot of people got swayed by the Western influence, by the boom economy, by the boom mentality, go radical, expand. And then when the pandemic hit, everybody fell flat on their face. And like now, they're prioritizing travel, prioritizing family, which you were mentioning that if people, let me review your advice. First, review your financial state, your condition, make investments based on your surplus, except only if it involves your first home or your residence. Now, Carl, people always say, nako, it's a choice between renting or buying. What's your position on that? Having come from a simple background, sabi mo nga, nagumpisa kayong mahirap, between may asawa ka, gusto nyong konting security, upa o bili?
Wow, that's a very difficult question, sir. No? Two camps yan, sir. Meron nagsasabi na upa ka. Okay, my camp is bili. Sabi ko nga sa mga friends natin, if you only have one property, yung budget mo pang isa lang, it has to be your primary home. You can survive your whole life without any rental income, without any investment. Basta yung primary home mo is secured. The second camp, sir, is yung mag-rent ka lang at gamitin mo yung pera, ilaro mo sa stock market, i-invest mo sa negosyo, ilagay mo sa cryptocurrency.
Nako! Patay kayo dyan. Patay kayo dyan. I am anti-cryptocurrency. Tanga-tanga na kayo pag pinasok pa nyo yan.
Amen. Amen. Ako naman, I am not anti, but I was one of those who lost money in cryptocurrency. So, sabi nga, experience is the best teacher.
Okay. But anyway,
two camps.
two camps. One is use your money for businesses. The
Magrent
other
ka lang.
is buy your first home. From my experience, having your own roof, your own place, takes a ton out of all the worries in life. Kasi kahit anong mangyari, hindi may kakatok na, oh, yung upa, magbayad ka. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Filipinos have grown into this notion na it has to be a house. What's your position? What's available out in the market? Kasi kami, honestly, if we could get a studio now, we'll probably just move into a studio hassle-free.
I agree. So, sir, you're right. These properties are designed for different people. Meaning, kunyari, use an analogy of ano mas masarap, Japanese food or Filipino food. It depends on you. So, definitely, sir, land is number one pagdating sa appreciation over time. O, guaranteed yon. If you have a land and it's in a location na nag-grow, nag-develop, then that's good. But not everybody can afford to have land immediately. Meaning, kunwari, I only have, let's say, 5 million, 6 million. Baka yung land na mabibili ko is malayo. So you will have to sacrifice your present in preparation for long-term future, which I do not agree. For me kasi, life is all about the present. Yan yung regalo sa atin ni God, present. And sabi nga nila, if you think about the future too much, that's anxiety. If you think about the past too much, that's regret, di ba?
Yeah, but Richard, you're saying, okay, if you only have 5 to 6 million and you want to buy land, the affordable ones would be in a location that is far, and you can't enjoy it now in your present. Ay, sorry, Richard. Carl, ako ba't ako? Hindi, kasi may nabasa ako. Sorry, Carl.
No problem.
Pag malayo, sabi mo, medyo mahirap yun dahil hindi mo ma-appreciate ngayon. But that's the only places where, affordable property exists. I'm just pursuing the argument.
Yeah,
Kasi, di ba? Kasi ako, bumili ako ng property sa Palawan. May mas malayo pa ba sa Palawan? Di ba? Dulo na yan eh. Okay, but in time, it boomed. What's your argument against that?
I think both camps are right, no? Kumbaga, if you buy a land somewhere malayo, okay lang. But you have to also balance with the present. Kasi sir, may mga iba talaga na medyo financially tight. They can only do one. That's where the condo comes in. So the condo product is designed for a specific person. For example, I'm a young couple. Right now, I'm only renting. Yung nire-rent ko, medyo may kalayuan. Tapos paglabas ko, hindi conducive for my child to play.
Okay,
Kasi,
you know the numbers. Okay, sorry, speed dating na tayo ulit kasi naliligaw ako eh. Okay, okay. Rent versus condo. Most of the rental now for a couple is in the range of 16 to 20,000. Diba? Yan yung mga middle class, upper class. Yung mas mahirap or mas maliit ang finances, even lower than that. What's available in the market and what would be the sacrifice involved? Kasi syempre, is it cheaper? Mas long-term payments cheaper versus rental? I mean, if you do the equation?
Definitely, sir. I advocate borrowing money from the bank. So maraming hindi agree dito. But for me, if you rent, kunwari lang, you can only rent. You rent for 15 years. The money is gone. But if you pay the bank for 15 years, kahit sabi mo may interest, after 15 years, the property is yours and you can pass it on to your kids. So I'm a more of I would rather borrow from the bank, pay interest than purely rent.
Okay, so and are the payments just like renting? Kasi that's what I wanted to clear, Carl. Some people think, ay nako, if we borrow in the bank, we'll be paying even more. Lalo nang naubos yung sweldo mo para lang bayaran yung bangko, etc.
Sir, that's where the foundation na you have to be in excess comes in. Kasi pag tight talaga, then rent ka lang. Yun.
Okay.
Acquisition will. And I tell my friends, kung di ka man in excess and you cannot buy and you're only renting, you enjoy your rental property. Pagandahin nyo, lagyan nyo ng tamang shelves and cabinet, treat it as your own. And you will still enjoy a good life. Kahit rental lang.
But you're talking about you're talking about the investment. I'm talking about the first home starter home. Okay, okay.
Kung-
First home,
kung-
starter home.
Kung first home ka, and then you kunyari, you cannot afford the bank rate. Wala, rent lang talaga tayo. And then you enjoy that one. If, kunwari, kaya mo naman ng konting dagdag, ako personally, if it's a small condo, I'm okay with it. Kasi kunyari yun lang yung budget mo. If it's small, kasi ang condo, kasi konti na lang yung kailangan natin ngayon ng gamit, diba? It's mostly digital, you don't need books. And then you have to make shelves. Yun yung trick, sir. Pag maliit ang space, kuha tayo ng shelves para ma-maximize yung floor to ceiling.
Yeah,
And then even if your condo is small, you have the amenities outside para ma-enjoy mo. So yun.
Okay, pero bahay-bahay lang muna ang pag-usapan.
Bahay.
Okay, hindi, I mean, yung place to stay, okay? An
Okay.
abode, okay? Tutulugan mo, titirahan mo. There are people who live in a studio, literally one room. The room, hindi ko na nga alam ang term doon eh. Yung kwarto, bahay na eh.
Bahay.
Okay, di ba? So, studio. Right now in the market, between renting and borrowing from the bank, and you only want to buy a studio, the cheapest studio in town, is there a lot available? Because people keep saying there's a shortage, prices are too high, the markups are 40%, etc.
You're also right, sir. That's true. There is a shortage of cheaper condos, cheaper properties. The sweet spot na nakikita ko na kulang ngayon is somewhere between 3, 4 something million. Yun yung sweet spot na kulang. Kasi yung iba masyado na expensive eh. So I think there are certain brands naman na medyo still affordable. Meron.
Okay, and going to the bank, borrowing money on the average, how much more would a couple have to invest? Magkano pa idadagdag nila? Kasi kung sabihin mo na yung rental property ngayon, tumatakbo ng, sabihin na lang natin, 15,000 a month.
Okay.
Magkano ba on the average ang monthly payments mo for a 5 to 6 million condo or studio?
All right, sir. So speed dating, no? If it's 5 million, sir, and then you have to at least have 50%. So 2.5. Dapat nandyan na yan. Huwag mo na utangin yun. That's a safe, conservative number. Pay 2.5, then 2.5 lang utangin natin. 2.5, pag inutang mo yan, it's around 20,000 a month for 15 years. Somewhere there. 2022. So that's a number to keep. You have to have at least 2.5 down.
2.5 million down, tapos 20 years, babayad ka ng mga 20,000 a month.
Exactly, sir. 15 years, something like that.
Okay, so mabuti pa, imbis na gumawa kayo ng kasalang en grande, hold upin nyo na lang yung 100 ninong.
Exactly. Diba, yung it's really, diba, yeah, you're right, wedding na mahal, no? Isang araw lang, wala na.
Okay, but what is the trend right now, Carl? Are people still focusing on Metro Manila? Because if anything, the pandemic made people realize, hey, we got to get out of town. Or
Definitely.
they've started buying property or homes outside of Metro Manila. And I, for one, and my wife have been talking about, let's just skip town. We're not getting any younger. What's the trend now?
Definitely, sir. Because of the pandemic, talagang na-open up na talaga yung being able to live farther outside. Definitely. That is the opportunity right now. Kaya, lumakas din ng mga properties outside. But not everybody can afford to work far. Pero those who can, definitely, lalayo sila.
Okay, yung bang mga, sorry, it's not an advertisement, but people know these brands anyway. Yung mga Camellia Homes, yung mga mass housing, yung mga small, ewan ko kung anong tawag nyo dyan sa property development, that
Yes.
kind of housing, are they really affordable? Because a lot of them have been popping up in Laguna, in Batangas, in Bulacan.
I think what the buyer can do is compare mo. Kaya, okay, if I buy this, ano ang travel time ko to my work? Ano yung place of study of my kids? Ano yung magiging experience of my family? Vis-a-vis, let's say, if I buy something within the city, smaller condo, may swimming pool, may gym, may amenities, may security, what are the pros and cons? So maybe that would be a good exercise. Kasi kunyari para sa akin, hindi. I can live in Cavite, Laguna, okay ako. I can still have my work, my school, okay ako. May iba naman, they will say, no, I want to be closer.
Yeah, okay, but what is the reality now? Are there more people outside the Metro Manila, or are the investments or the purchases still done in Metro Manila?
I think, sir, depende rin talaga sa the market level, what the financial level is. Maybe the more wealthy ones, they can afford to be farther. But for those also who are able to, let's say, work internationally, virtual assistant, work from home,
Yeah.
definitely they can go outskirt also. So I guess, sir, depende talaga dun sa work mo. Tsaka yung family dynamics mo if you need to be within Metro Manila. But
Okay,
yeah, definitely, nag-open up talaga yun.
Okay, so let's go to the choice location. You were saying kanina na first in excess. Kung marami kang sobrang pera or may naipon ka, may natabi ka, then go for it, invest in property. And then the priority should be your first home, una mong titirhan so that you don't have to throw out 15 years worth of rental, which is
Exactly.
also a lot of money. How do you decide whether you should go for a townhouse, a condo, an apartment? Because honestly, hanap ako na hanap, wala na ako nakita. Para ako naghahanap ng vintage car eh.
Ay!
Yung naghahanap ako. Welcome back to your agenda. Sorry for that sudden break. Our audio feed disappeared. Namamasyal. Naghahanap kung saan siya mag-i-invest. Sa apartment ba, condo, etc. Carl, please continue with the conversation. We took off where we were talking about if you had 5 to 6 million, what would you buy? Would you go for an apartment, a condo, a townhouse? And you were saying when we got cut off that wala nang apartment, wala nang townhouse dahil it's not practical in term land value versus potential. Could you carry on, please?
Yeah. So sir, you were asking kanina if I had 5-6 million, I'm a starter couple, ano dapat bilhin ko? So, to put things into perspective kasi, if you have 5-6 million, yung townhouse na nabibili natin, baka luma na. Luma, tapos the location might be in a not so new. So, kumaga, if you have a child, diba, medyo siguro malayo sa school or paglabas mo, maraming tambay. So the environment might not be conducive. But on the other hand, if you buy, let's say, a condo, as an end user, okay naman kasi may marami kang access to those amenities, swimming pool, gym, play area, and then paglabas mo, malapit ka sa office. So totally different vibes, different energy. So, siguro, to balance it out, definitely a townhouse with a land will have a longer capital appreciation. But sometimes, we also want to monitor yung present, which is yung having a better present life in a condo naman na malapit. So, that's the toss-up, sir.
Okay, now, what about the issue? Because the reason I never bought a condo is the juice.
Yep.
The monthly dues. Sabi ko, parang na ako umuupa ng apartment because in some places, the dues are 3,000. In some places, it's 5,000. What's your opinion on that?
Totally agree with you, sir. Here's how to break it down. No? So, yung 3,000 kasi 4,000, let's say, tatlo kayo, and you use the gym. Doon pa lang medyo advantageous na. So, your life becomes more healthy kasi susulitin mo na yung gym mo. Your kids, instead na nakakulong lang sa kwarto, can go down, may play area, may swimming pool, kasama na rin sa juice yun. And then, if you own a house, at some point, you'll have to repaint, fix your gutter, fix. So talagang meron ka rin sinking fund na pag sa condo, part na ng juice yun. And if you're a senior, for me, if I was a senior, I prefer to be in a condo para pagbaba mo, may makikita ka. Kasi pag isolated ka sa isang malaking bahay, malungkot din, sir, di ba? So there's really a toss-up pros and cons. That's why kanina sinabi ko, it's a product for a specific type of person.
At saka sa condo, you can live without help. I'm talking about maids or boys, etc. You don't have to have a lot of worry. But unfortunately, it is 8:54. I'm going to have to reschedule you again or invite you back. But what's your, if you want to leave our viewers with one tip, one lesson, what would it be? For now, because you're coming back whether you like it or not.
Okay. Property is all about, dalawa pala yan. Either you're buying as an end user or you're buying as a purely investor. So kanina we talk about as an end user. Pwedeng condo, pwedeng town, depende sa'yo. Pwedeng malayo, pwedeng work from beach, ganon. If you're an investor naman, to balance it out, property, just like any valued asset, even vintage car, it's all about supply. If the supply is low and the demand is high, then mas nagkaka-appreciation. So, wag natin kalimutan na if you're gonna buy a property, eventually, monitor the supply. We also don't want to be in a high supply area na low ang demand. Yon.
Okay. It's still all about supply and demand.
Basic economics.
Okay. And, nabanggit mo kasi yung beach property. Is it still worthwhile? I did it before and I was way ahead of the game. And when the boom hit, I had left town. But now, what's the story as far as those luxury? Hindi naman luxury, but more of beach and hotels, etc. Yung mga tourism.
Definitely, sir. I will answer that in two aspects. First, definitely the market for that will always be there. Hindi titigil yan. People will always want to do that. That's the first one. But second, your acquisition cost is the deal maker. You have to it's sabi nga ni Robert Kiyosaki, it's not, you don't make money when you sell. You make money when you buy. So
Because you got it low,
there you
and
go.
whatever happens, it'll only go high.
There you go. We don't buy high expecting it to go higher. We buy
Oh.
low and then you ride it.
Okay, we can't get any lower. We've hit the bottom. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Carl D. And please do us the favor of coming back on the show regularly, because we want to make it a program about people's agenda. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless everybody. Salamat, Sir Cito.
Okay, welcome. And let's now go to our blessing for the week. It comes from the book of Psalms, chapter 20, verse 4. May He give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. Please remember the lessons that Carl D. shared in this morning's program. Investment is supposed to be fun, profitable, and not supposed to make you miserable. May God bless you with these gifts, and when God blesses, it comes with no problems. Thank you. Please keep it here on One News.